What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. 2 days ago, I released my first ever DP reel that I've ever created. And I thought maybe it'd be worth sitting down and breaking down some of that video with you guys and kind of giving my thoughts, what I think was good, what I think was bad, and what I want to do moving forward in the future. So firstly, like I said, this was my first ever reel I've made. I started learning how to use a camera in 2023, and I feel like I really started working in film in 2024. So after my first year of being in film, I felt I didn't create anything good enough to really make a reel. And going into 2026, I felt like this past year really allowed me to grow as a filmmaker and as a DP, as an overall creative, so I felt like it was finally time to put together a reel no matter how good or bad I thought the work was. And upon first review of this reel, I'm actually fairly happy with it. I think there is a lot of really great stuff on there that I'm actually pretty proud of, which I am normally my toughest critic, so having stuff I'm proud of is really, really awesome. I don't think any of it's perfect by any means, but I feel like I'm on the road to getting to where I want to be in a way. I think upon first review, I feel like my reel is very sports heavy. In 2025, I shot a lot of basketball, as well as like a little bit of other stuff, but mainly basketball. And I did really enjoy it. I was an athlete myself, so shooting any sort of sports content is normally pretty fun for me. But going forward, I definitely want to be a little more versatile in what I'm shooting. One of my biggest goals for this year is to shoot some sort of narrative project, shoot more narrative and more story, as well as more doc stuff. I feel like that's the direction I want to move, so getting some of that into next year's reel is just something to keep in mind. Not that it's necessarily bad that I shot a lot of sports, I just want to be more versatile as a DP, get more experience under my belt, more experience shooting other different types of things. And this goes without saying, but if you haven't seen the reel yet, feel free to go back and watch. It's literally a minute long, and then catch up with me in this video. Secondly, after watching the reel back, although I do think it's pretty sports heavy, I am actually proud of the versatility of the kinds of shots I have in there. Like, I have some car stuff, some fashion stuff, and even in some of the sports shoots, I tried to get creative with what I was shooting. So although it is semi-sports heavy, I think there is a lot of examples of what I can do as a DP in there. From the mounted car shots to some of the snowboarding shots, and even just how I lit some of the basketball shots themselves. I feel like it's very representative of what I can do right now. My whole goal with this reel was not to include anything that wasn't a good representation of what I bring to the table as a creative. Another thing I am really, really happy with from this last year was the types of brands I worked with. Now, who you work with is certainly not what makes you a good creative by any means. You can work with the biggest brands in the world and be kind of terrible at your job. But I feel like the projects I did with big brands came out really well. I mean, this past year I got to work with the NFL, NBA, Dick's, Toyota, 100 Thieves, and those are really cool companies to say you've worked with. I don't think it's all about who you've worked with and this and that, but you know, it does bring something to the table that other people see and are interested in. And for me, even just looking back on those shoots, I'm very proud of them. So in going back and looking at all my projects, I feel like I shocked myself with what I've actually done this year. Sometimes it gets tough to reflect on what you did in the past year and how far you've come. I think my last point with my own reel is just the ability to reflect on the work I've done this year. I think it's important to look back and see how far you've come, both as a creative and as a person. I mean, I started January 2025 in Philadelphia, moved across the country to LA on a whim, and made connections, grew, got work. And although in the moment, you know, the first 6 months out here were stressful and often pretty brutal, I kind of look back at my reel as a representation of like, wow, like, you know, you did it, like you found some sort of success in LA. And although at times it doesn't really feel good, it doesn't feel super successful, I can say I'm miles ahead of where I was in 2024. And that's really the goal in the end, is just to get better and improve. And although sometimes I feel like it's hard to be satisfied with where I'm at and the kind of work I put out, I think I was surprised to look at my reel and be appreciative of the work I've done and be proud of how far I've come. Now, my last point with this short little video is that my reel is not perfect. It needs changes. I've already had a few of my friends say, hey, you should change this, this, and this, and I agree with them 100%. But I think the biggest thing is making sure your work's out there for people to see. I think it's really important to be updating your website and showing off your best pieces to potential clients, friends, whoever it may be. Because I think if you even went back 2 months ago to my website, it was unupdated, and if someone looked at it, I was not proud of the work I had on there. And it took me far too long to update my website to a point where I was proud of everything on there. So I think when you are updating your website, making a reel, making any sort of project in pre-production, whatever, post-production, whatever it may be, make sure you're making something you're proud of and you're not just getting stuff out to get stuff out, whether it's for the check or you just want to be done with it. Make sure you're proud of it. Make sure you put your all into it. And in a creative world, in a creative field, putting your all into something can be truly felt in the final product. So I guess the whole point of this video is to just share with you my reel, talk about it, talk through my thoughts, and to say, put your work out there, be proud of it, be appreciative of how far you've come as a creative, whether it's from being able to even use a camera and properly expose something, or going from small gigs to big gigs. Whatever the jump is for you, as long as you've gotten better at what you do, appreciate that, be proud of yourself, and move forward on to the next one and keep improving is really all I got. Motorcycle outside just ruining everything. That's really awesome. Be proud of yourself, move forward, keep trying to improve. That's pretty much the whole idea behind this video. But short one for you guys today. We're on the grind. I'll see you next week. 2 videos this week and then a video next week. Get out of here. All right, I'll catch you. Peace. Hey, Dad, what's going on?
Oh my God, you're okay.
I'm gonna watch it real quick.